Pisces, welcome to your Sunday Shuffle. This week we're going to focus on the Lionsgate portal energy, respectively. Lionsgate, as we all know, very powerful time of the year. You know, if you want to know more, look it up, but I can just tell you, this is where our energy and our influence from the universe energy, God, whatever you want to call it, is very, very real, honest, and raw. So yeah, it can get really real, and it's good to know. It's good to know. There's some good advice, there's some good influence in there, but we have to be willing to look at it. Alright, we're going to start by pulling you an oracle. This is from the Enchanted Map. Okay, number 44, Strength 44, of course, as we know, is a very beautiful number. Excellent. The quadrants of your life requiring strength at this time. 44, by the way, of course, might be in general number of significance to you. But yes, beautiful. Strength, needing strength. Okay, balancing a lot, taking on a lot, but it's because hopefully you want to, not because you feel you have to. I hope that you're using your strength for you. What is a good question, please, for Pisces? A Pisces question, please. A question for Pisces, a question for... something's trying to come through. There we go. Six of Wands. Are you ready to be recognized for all your efforts and achievement? Oh, so that strength was for something. Are you ready to be recognized? Well, it's like, Pisces is like, well, I was strong for a reason, so let's talk about it. Yeah, I would like to be recognized for my achievements, thank you. Six of Wands, the recognition, riding high in the streets, achievements, job well done, is strength. It was for something, honey. It was for something. There was a payout involved here. It took you strength of will, but you made something happen. Congratulations to you. That recognition for being strong doesn't necessarily have to be in work. Anything where you were an outstanding support to someone else. Something like that. There's a lot of different ways that you can receive accolades and recognition. What's going on, please, for Pisces during Lionsgate? Show me. Some of you are working very hard to get towards that goal. Promotion, achievement, success, recognition, all that good stuff. What's all this now? So let's start with what's crowning you. Six of Swords. Moving on. Five of Pentacles. The High Priestess. Okay, the Fool. Something here wasn't working. You knew that intuitively, and you opened yourself up into a different direction. New beginnings, fresh starts, that kind of thing. And it's looking like it worked well for you. Okay, so this is a huge thing in recognition in people. They need to understand what is working and what isn't. What is taking away from them and not giving back has to be moved on from. Intuitively, you felt that this was the gig and that you had to move on from it. You're already reflecting that Six of Swords. So that tells me it's either upon you, or you just started the process, or you just recently did your Six of Swords. Regardless, something was not functioning, be it in work or finances or relationship. You knew it intuitively. The Fool. You decided to open up, make a change, fresh start. It took you strength to do this. It took you strength to acknowledge that something wasn't functioning. Just because you felt it intuitively doesn't mean you did anything about it. I see people be intuitive all day, every day. That doesn't mean they're doing a damn thing about what they're feeling, you know? But you did. That was you. And that is a job well done. There was resistance. Knight of Cups. But you opened up. I think you resisted how you felt as long as you could until you just couldn't anymore. You understood something to be futile, not without a damn good fight from you. You getting in your own way first, but then even you were like, this is ridiculous. I've done as much as I could for this. So, let's get cracking. Let's talk about it. We're going to start right there with the crowning. That Six of Swords under the influence of moving forward. Moving on. Intuitively, you felt it was a failure, but you kept at it. I understand. I understand that spirit, you know. I got it. Yeah, this doesn't feel good, and I feel like it's going to break, but I guess I should keep trying. I know. We all do it, and that's how we learn. Okay? Unfortunately, you exhausted yourself in the process. And if you have not begun your Fool's journey yet, based on your intuitive feeling that it's time, you will soon. Okay? So we're at the height of that energy, the height of action, making decisions, and really looking at ourselves in a raw way. All right, Six of Swords, fairness, Ten of Wands, overburden, overstrain. There's that Nine of Wands again. It kept exhausting you to try to equalize something that would not equalize. Justice wouldn't be here unless one of two things. It's either fair or it ain't fair. So whatever this was that you were going row your boat for, I'm leaving that. Six of Swords, you're like, so This don't make sense. That's why I'm moving on from it. That's a lot of exhaustion, honey. That's a lot. That's a lot. A lot. I'm sympathetic. Nine of Wands, Ten of Wands. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, in case no one else did, you did the best you could do. And you did it too long. Way too long. You did the best you could. To make something right, to make it fair. So if nobody told you, if no one gave you that particular accolade, I'm going to tell you right now, you did the best you could. You fought that good fight. I know you wanted to correct it. You wanted to find justice for yourself or the situation, or you wanted to make a situation right, and it wasn't just your task or responsibility. The thing is, it wouldn't even out. You couldn't feel good about it at the end of the day. You saw the results over and over again. Nine of Wands is the insanity card, bless you. Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results until the point of breaking. That was way too much strain and responsibility, and most of it was self-imposed. In other words, you kept doing this even though you should have stopped a long time ago. Well past the point that you know you should have stopped. So a lot of that self-imposed. You exhausted yourself. And for what? Something you thought you could make right? Something that you felt you were entitled to in terms of justice? Closure? Nah. Could do. Doesn't feel right. Closure comes from within, by the way. If you have to fight that hard for so-called closure, it's a losing battle. You give yourself closure first and foremost. It's the same as giving yourself permission. So I don't know what it is that you were working so hard to equalize, make fair, make right, or get closure on, but at some point you understood you had to stop. Okay? You did the best you could. Let it alone. Whatever that garbage is, whatever that flaming hot pile of garbage is, it's not yours anymore. It probably never was. To try to make right, to fix, whatever. No. A lot of strength here, but I recognize it. It's here, not once, but twice. I want to see what let's just get over there. Let's jump onto this. What is this Five of Pentacles, please? Intuitively, you felt like this was going to happen, and this is what happens when we don't listen to ourselves. And that's how I opened with, did I not? This is what happens when we don't listen to ourselves. And the point is, I'm giving you credit because you did something about it eventually. You moved on from it, whatever that looks like. And it looks like after a hell of a fight, you went out peacefully. It's like this just isn't worth it anymore. Correct. That's the concept of the junker, right? The cost of repairs on your vehicle. Do they exceed the cost of the vehicle? To fix it, does it outweigh the cost of the vehicle itself? And if the answer is yes, it's a junker. Move on. The cost of repairs is way too high compared to whatever this was worth. Okay. Five of Pentacles. Queen of Wands, the Emperor, the Ace of Pentacles. Something would not take. I see you offering it over and over again with sincerity and passion and strength of will. It could have been a work opportunity that was not so great. We put as much power into it as we possibly could, tried to maintain control, tried to keep that offer in flux, tried to keep it going. There was times when we showed passion towards this. There was times we tried to show control. I got this. I'm empowered. I know how to deal with this. I know how to keep that pentacle going. We tried to be a commanding figure in this, right? Confidence, even while it was deteriorating. You're showing me a lot of strength of will here. To keep at something, to keep at something. It'll work out. It'll pay out. It'll work out. It'll pay out. And all it did was cost you. You put a lot of good energy into it without getting much back. That's a lesson for you. Okay? If something gives back to you in equal measure, then it's worth it. If it doesn't, and it's just you constantly being in the red instead of the black, then it's not worth it. Okay? I see a lot of strong will in you, and oh my goodness, did you fight that resistance? I know you felt you could, or rather, I think you were adamant that you could keep from whatever happening. But a part of you felt it. Part of you felt it. Speaking of which, let's jump on over back to that Nine of Wands. I want to get a better idea of what this is. I'm feeling it has heavily to do with coin. You might have been boss here. You know. Somebody was in charge, so the business was a little bit more personal to you. You were calling the shots. Some of that Nine of Wands, some of that Nine of Wands, but you also knew it wasn't going to level out. You knew. I think you tried to keep the success of this thing in mind, but it kind of ended up blowing up in your face. And there is a cooperative element around you that I think probably hurt the concept more than they helped it. Page of Wands, the Three of Wands, there it is, the Six of Wands, always waiting for that recognition. Always waiting for that recognition to come in, to the success to come in, and it just wouldn't. That's why you kept at it. That's why you kept at it. You kept waiting for success. You showed me a phenomenal amount of strength. You showed the world a phenomenal amount of strength. I got to keep this going. It's my job. It's my business. I'm boss. I'm head of this thing. I'm in charge. It's going to have a payout. It's going to be successful. I know it. But if something was gnawing at you in the back of you this whole time, it weren't right. Something wasn't right. It wasn't going to work. It wasn't going to fix. And you were waiting for that recognition. Everything's going to be great. I know it, I know it, I know it. The ships are on the horizon. They're coming into port any day. And that's what kept you going. Nine of Wands. That's why you kept at it. Any day. Any day. The big ships are going to roll in. I'm going to have a huge payout. I'm going to get accolades. I'm going to get so many kudos. It's not even funny. And it didn't happen. I see why you kept at it. You felt it was your responsibility. But nothing is worth your health, honey. Nothing is worth your health. Because without your health, you don't have anything else. And you can't keep going, and you can't keep trying, and you can't have success and feathers unless you have your health. And it took a huge toll on you. Physically, emotionally. Okay. I'm kind of curious about this Knight of Cups. Some of this Knight of Cups are actual feeling, which, by the way, Knight of Cups is one of your power cards. Some of that Knight of Cups, please. A lot of people do not know that, but it is. Some of that Knight of Cups, please. Some of that Knight of Cups. Seven of Cups, Temperance, Ten of Cups. You really thought that this would lead to happiness over time, and what started out as confusing would solidify with patience and time and healing, that all would be well, and that everybody would be happy in the end. So you have this understanding that whatever it is that you were doing had the potential to make everyone happy, whoever everyone is. It could be a family thing. Okay? Let's jump on over to the High Priestess, please. It's kind of like saying whatever damage was incurred during this busyness, I'll make up for it later. Everybody's going to be great. Everybody's going to be happy. Again, it costs to you. Show me the High Priestess. Some of that High Priestess, some of that High Priestess, some of that High Priestess. I think the real success in this was knowing when to walk away, or eventually getting to that point where you knew you had to walk away. You felt it. Intuitively, you felt it. Intuitively, you felt it was in your best interest as Empress to move on from this. You knew it was disappointing. You felt it over and over again. The bigger parts of you that are much more established and proficient and really productive and beautiful said, let's open up into a new direction, please. There's more promised over here. But there was another part of you that was Emperor that was competing with your Empress, I believe. There's what you intuitively felt, that this is a no-go, this is a bust, Pisces, move on from this. There's other things you could do, open up into. And you knew that they were there and that they would be just as productive. But your Emperor was over here being like, nope, we're going to knock this one out. It's going to have a payout. I got it. Okay, let's see you open up into the Fool now. I think you understood where this ended up, and I see you changing course. I think that's where your real commendability comes into play here, is having the real strength to move on from this, to call it a loss, to let it go, to cut it loose. It's not productive. There's a bit of a stall, but you will move forward in time. There's some stress tied to opening up into new things. I understand. It's really hard to move forward after you put so much of yourself into what looks like a situation that or circumstance that required a lot of your... It looks heavily like work. It looks heavily like work to me. But it's much more on the personal side. This is mine. This is my business. I'm stamped all over this. I can't just give up. So that's why I'm seeing you to the point of exhaustion. But you knew. You knew. You kind of knew, right? And your Fool was trying to point you into another direction, something that might be more prosperous, and you're like, I can't give up on this. Okay. I think, again, honey, you did the best you could. I do see you moving forward in time. I think you are now in that place where you are really accepting moving on and letting it go. You don't have to fight over this or around this subject anymore. I think you're in that pivotal position now to change pathways. The way your Fool and your High Priestess has been bugging you for I don't know how long. And it scares you. It scares you a little bit to completely shift directions with the Chariot. That means a whole new dedication of effort. It means a whole new dedication of point of view, of emotional energy, of strength of mind and strength of will. Tony, that's all that is. That's all you have in spades. That's what I tell people all the time. Make it work for you, not against you. If you could show that much strength towards something you knew wasn't working out or wasn't good for you, imagine what that strength would be like if you used it for something that would. Make all that stubbornness and that righteousness, and I can hang in there and make this work for you, not against you. Your intuition was screaming at you. This is a no-go, Pisces. There's something else here we could be doing, don't you think? And you were like, nah, I'm gonna keep this going until it runs into the damn ground. It did. It ran into the ground, so get in your boat, get in the water where you belong. Yeah, I know, it's scary to switch tracks, and it's looking like you're in a place of interim, where the idea of moving on both excites you and scares you, because you put so much of yourself into this. I think that's where your real victory comes from. Showing yourself, people confuse stubbornness with strength. I think I saw a very stubborn Pisces here. Pride, too. A lot of pride was in there. I understand. It makes sense. But don't confuse strength or stubbornness with strength. Real strength is knowing when to draw a line in the sand, call it quits, and to change paths. Again, you did as much as you could. Okay? You have victory waiting for you elsewhere. You're still in that, right now here, while we're in Lionsgate, accepting your Six of Swords. You're still having a hard time putting down your bundles. 9 of Wands, 10 of Wands. It's hard to let that go. You're still in the process of shedding that like old skin. And that's where the transformation process takes, and I see you changing tracks into something else that feels better to you, but it's scary to start over. I want you to think of it as not starting over so much as starting with experience, because you do. You have a lot of experience. And the next time you open yourself up the Fool, make sure it's in a direction that's right for you. Okay? It seems like you already have a working construct of what that is. You're going to continue to develop that over the next month or so. And start making your way in it. And the more you do, the anxiety is going to ease up. Okay? Yeah, it's a bit on a delay. Your new pathway and moving on it specifically is a little bit on delay. You're still shedding this old skin. Still coming to terms with this as a loss. But it's not really a loss so much as it's a lesson. The only way you really lose is if you refuse to learn. You know? And I don't think you're interested in losing. Okay. Pisces, honey, I hope this helped you. Put in the comments as you see fit. Hopefully I'll see you for next Sunday Shuffle or your next In-Depth. Take care. Be well.